The debt ceiling deal was supposed to stabilize things for the U.S. government by suspending the debt limit for 2 years. Congress mitigated the fear of a U.S. default, but the deal apparently wasn't enough to paper over the dysfunction in Washington, D.C. Who would have thought of dysfunction on K Street, right? So on Tuesday, Fitch Ratings downgraded the U.S. long-term credit rating from a AAA, those AAAs, to a AA plus. Hey, Jamie Dimond said, no big deal. Doesn't matter. I don't think so, Jamie. Fitch noted that the U.S. government doesn't have any kind of, medium-term fiscal framework and operates under a complex budgeting process. Ladies and gentlemen, in other words, they're saying Congress sets the budget on a year-to-year basis. In just 2 months since the debt ceiling deal, the U.S. Treasury added $1.2 trillion to the national debt. That is absolutely stunning. So Joe Biden comes out. What do you think he does? Joe Biden blames USA credit downgrade on Trump. Trump's been out of office 3 years, but hey, this is all about politics these days. It's Trump's fault. Of course he does. So this Trump downgrade is a direct result of extreme MAGA Republican agenda defined by chaos, callousness, and recklessness that Americans continue to reject. That's right, 75 million people voted for Trump. He's polling over 40% against all Republicans. So this is from Kevin, Biden's campaign spokesman. He said Donald Trump oversaw the loss of millions of American jobs and ballooned the deficit with the disastrous tax cuts for wealthy and big corporations, Kevin said. So the White House statement, check this out. They gave a nice statement. It's all Trump's fault. So let's look at the facts, okay? According to the 100% nonpartisan market, the creditworthiness of U.S. Treasury debt improved almost consistently under President Trump, and it worsened dramatically almost immediately under upon President Biden's inauguration. Just, those are the facts. CNBC, wheeled out Jared Bernstein. He's the chair of Biden's Council on Economic Advisors and a former Obama official. So what do you think he's going to say? He blamed Trump. It's Trump's fault. Bernstein reflected on the cognitive dissonance he felt at the downgrade and then the success of Bidenomics. Yeah, Bidenomics. It's been 100% success. We're just rocking and rolling in the United States here. Commenting that creditworthiness, deteriorated significantly under President Trump for good reason. Okay? Remember, I call out both sides and we look at both sides of this, but we're going to look at facts and the data. And under President Biden, he said it started to track back up. Okay, pal. Just look at that chart. And look at Yellen's statement. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that the downgrade was arbitrary and based on outdated data. Adding today, the unemployment rate is near historic lows. That's a fake rate. Janet Yellen is brilliant. She's full of shit right now. Inflation has come down significantly since last summer. Bullshit. And last week's GDP report showed that the U.S. economy continues to grow. Bullshit. I call bullshit on all three of those things. So what does this mean for the financial markets? If we look at this holistically, as far as the market impact, it's uncertain right now. It is uncertain. The market is at a point where it's somewhat vulnerable, to say the least, to bad news. And the credit rating downgrade won't likely have a significant impact on U.S. government's ability to borrow in the short term. But it should serve as a wake-up call, in my opinion. What the hell is going on? The world is watching what is going on in the United States and is starting to recognize that the U.S. federal government is on an unsustainable path. You think? 100%. So kind of putting a bow on this, a couple interesting facts. The U.S. federal government is a clown show right now, in my opinion. Check this out. In a statement today, totally lacking self-awareness. It's unbelievable. This is what they think about the American people, that they don't read, and a lot don't. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken blasted Russia President Vladimir Putin for jailing his political opponents. So you shouldn't do that. Russia opposition leader Alexei Navalny on Friday was sentenced to 19 additional years in prison colony for extremism related to charges. So, but what are you guys doing to Trump? Because we all know that none of these charges would be happening right now, indictments, if he wasn't running for president. Blinken said that the United States strongly condemns Russia's conviction of opposition leaders against Putin on politically motivated charges. The Kremlin cannot silence the truth. Navalny should be released, Blinken wrote on Twitter, X, whatever the hell it is now. So Blinken's tone-deaf remarks amid the Biden administration political prosecution of his main political rival, Donald Trump, were, he was brutally ridiculed on social media. Why don't we let the people decide who can be president? This is a 100% banana republic right now. If the tables were turned and Republicans were doing this to the Democrats, I would denounce it. So right now, the Navalny has around 2 to 5% support in Russia, far from an opposition leader. In fact, most Russians quietly hate him. Meanwhile, you are, prosecuting the actual leader of the opposition here at home in the United States. Russia President Vladimir Putin approval rating right now is at 80-85% with the Russian people. So get a clue, brother. What a loser. I mean, come on. Unbelievable. So, we're supposed to be the leader in the world. Everyone's watching us and they see what we're doing to our, political opponents. This is ridiculous. So number 2, the U.S. government has borrowed over $1 trillion since the debt ceiling deal, as I said earlier. And look at this chart. As inflation and economic uncertainty crush American households, only 46% of adults, that's almost half of America, have emergency savings to cover a $400 expense in the third quarter in the United States. This is 2 percentage points lower than the survey results from the second quarter, as it appears the financial well-being of consumers is 100% deteriorating rapidly. So we're sending all this money to Ukraine, $150–200 billion, and the economy is great. Inflation is going down. I don't think these people go shopping. Joy Reid of The View just did a talk. I'm going to do a nice short video on her. I don't think Joy Reid goes shopping right now. She says everything's great. She's got a $7 million salary at The View. She says the economy's booming under Biden. I don't know what data these people are reading, and I know it's a political season, but I mean, this is absolutely atrocious. It's embarrassing. Blinken telling Russia not to jail their political opponents, but they're doing it to Donald Trump, who got 75 million votes in the last election and is leading the Republican field by 40+ points. You're going to jail him? I mean, this is unbelievable. Let the people decide. This is a banana republic right now. I wouldn't wish this on Joe Biden or Barack Obama or anyone if the Republicans were doing this, because it has to be treason. It has to be bribery. To move forward with these types of things against the President of the United States. The bar has to be set really, really, really high, and they're abusing it right now. But looks like the current president has done bribery. The facts are there. The tea leaves have lined up with his main business partner, Archer, and all the emails. And there's also an email, very interesting, I'm not going to get into it right now, from Hunter Biden that he tells his daughter that he doesn't want to have to pay 50% of his income to the big guy's dad. So, what's going on there? Bar has to be set really high for that. And I don't know what Blinken's talking about. We have 50% of Americans that don't have any money in their accounts, and we're talking about a good, robust economy. If we had a robust economy, we'd be rocking and rolling. We need to take care of people at home first before we start giving all this foreign aid to other countries. But we know what's going on in Ukraine. It's used as a money laundering country, and a lot of kickbacks are going on. Only less than 30% of that money goes to military hardware, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Take care.